All right, good morning, guys. This is a walkthrough for the next step in the learning check here. All right. As always, for those of you, or once you submit your learning check, you're going to get it back from me. And you're going to get one of two scores. You're either going to get a one, which means that you have met the standard for this particular learning check. All right, and you're done. All right, we should know that by now, hopefully. Or you're going to get a point 7, which is a not yet met, all right, or an invitation to continue, along with the feedback that I have given you to improve your work, all right. What I'm going to introduce today is the next. What I just said previously is not new. All right. This is going to be new, though. We're going to start a new thing with this final learning check called response record. All right. And this record will basically capture our engagement in the feedback response process. All right. As such, we will call each interaction an engagement. All right. And the purpose of each engagement will be to make progress towards meeting the criteria for the standard or for meeting standard in the learning check. All right. Um, each engagement will focus on my feedback and your response to my feedback. All right. And this is kind of what it looks like down here. And so there will be an initial engagement number one. Here I will give you feedback, and then you will or you'll copy and paste my feedback into here, and then you'll tell me how you responded to that feedback. More on that in just a moment. Okay. Um, for each engagement, again, it'll focus on my feedback. In my written feedback will either be posted as comments in the learning check document, all right, um, or I will give you verbal feedback, and then you will summarize that in the table below. It is possible that you will get both written and verbal feedback in a single engagement. Please distinguish accordingly in the record between the two, all right? And then your response will just be an explanation of what you did specifically in response to my feedback, all right? And so what I have done here, and you can get through this link right here, is I have created a document of screenshots to kind of show what that process is going to look like. All right. With that, I did a kind of a mock up, if you will, of a student response, and then I did a teacher feedback comment. All right. And so I'm going to make this a little bigger here so we can all see it a little better. All right. And so essentially, this is what it's going to look like, mis chicos. All right. So here's the learning check. Here's where I answered a question. What specifically is the product being advertised? All right. And as a student, I wrote car here. Okay. And then this was my feedback to that. Please write your response in complete sentences. This helps ensure that your thinking and my understanding are complete. Additionally, please be more specific than car. All right. So then you have to respond to that. Okay. I asked you to write an incomplete sentence, and I also asked you to be specific. All right. So, imagining that I got that feedback from my teacher, I revised my response. Okay. The specific product being advertised is a Toyota Corolla. Okie dokie. So, now we have to capture that. All right. And this is what that's going to look like. So, in this document that I was just on a moment ago, all right, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to copy and paste my feedback. So, up here, we see that this is my feedback. So, I copied that, okay, and I pasted it into engagement number one here where it says my feedback. So I copied and I pasted it into there. And then remember, your response is an explanation of what you did. All right. And so I wrote a complete sentence and named the specific product being advertised. Okay. So this is a response to the feedback that I gave you. Each time, I'm going to go back to our original document. All right. That we do that, you will capture our engagement. And remember, and again, an engagement is feedback and response. Okie dokie. And so, what I want you to keep in mind here is that growth is the goal. All right. Ideally, each engagement will result in growth or progress towards meeting the standards as presented in the criteria. And while it is possible that some of you might meet standard on your first attempt, it is more likely that you will have to engage with me in the feedback response process. All right. Um, and we will continue through that. All right. Until you meet the requirements or you complete 5 engagements. All right. More simply, I will only require 5 engagements, even if you have not yet met the standard by the time we're done with those 5 engagements. Okay. Of course, you will always have the opportunity to continue with that as many times as you want, but I will only require it 5. I call it the factor of 5. If you engage with me 5 times, all right, I believe you have reached an acceptable level of growth, which is the goal for the learning check. At that time, I will change your score from a zero point 0.7, not yet, to a 1, met in Skyward, all right? And so this will be what we use to record our feedback response process, all right? With the ad appeals. Wait a minute, why are there like 5 of these? What's going on here? I don't know. I got to fix that. I'm not sure what happened there. But anyway, guys, that's essentially it. All right. Because this is such an important part of the learning check. All right. This will actually go in Skyward 2 is either a zero point 0.7 incomplete or a 1 complete. All right. And so because you have to do this, okie dokie. And so this is your assignment today. You can't do it until you get feedback from me, but that feedback will be coming quickly. All right. And then you and I will stay at it until either you have met, all right, or we have completed 5 engagements. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, reach out. I know I was kind of stumbling and fumbling around a little bit, but I hopefully you got the gist of it. Okay. Peace out. I got to fix this. I don't know what's wrong with this document.